had, and has been. Are you struggling to use the correct form when you're speaking or writing in English? In this video lesson, we'll learn about the difference between using have, had, and has been by looking at a few examples and analysing the use of these forms together. Friends, remember the best way to be learning grammar is in use. By seeing grammar being used, you are able to better understand the use of each grammatical structure and apply this to your everyday life when you are speaking or writing in English. If you're struggling to use and apply grammar when speaking in English, make sure to get my free grammar training guide by clicking the link just above here to help you better communicate with grammar. Let's begin this lesson by looking at to have. Looking at this sentence, I have a new car. The verb have means to be in possession of something. Here, this sentence uses the present simple and it expresses the fact of having or possessing something in the present. Now, we can also use the verb have as an auxiliary verb, and we use it to form the present perfect and present perfect continuous tense. Have a look at this sentence here. I've gone to that show already. Here we can see the verb have is being used as the auxiliary verb. And here it's being used to form the present perfect simple tense. As we already know, we use the present perfect simple tense to connect past actions to the present. In this example, the person, me, I went to the show sometime in the past and it is still valid in the present. Let's have a look at another sentence. I've skipped breakfast and now I'm hungry. In this sentence, again, have is being used as the auxiliary verb to form the present perfect simple tense. Here it is used to express a finished action which has a consequence on the present. So because I didn't eat breakfast in the morning, I am now hungry. Instead of saying I didn't eat breakfast, we can use have and form a sentence using the present perfect simple, saying I've skipped breakfast and now I'm hungry. Have is also used in the English language to form the present perfect continuous tense. Have a look at this sentence here. I've been going to the same cafe for 10 years. In this example, we can see that the present perfect continuous tense is being used and we're using the auxiliary verb have to form this structure. In this sentence, we can see that the present perfect continuous tense is being used. This tense is used to express an action that started in the past but continues to occur, it continues to happen throughout some time regularly, and it is still true in the present. Let's move on and have a look at the use of has been. Let's begin by looking at a sentence. Here we can see the sentence that China said has been in our family for years. Here we can see the verb have being used in the third person, that being has. She has, he has, and it has. In this sentence, the present perfect simple tense is being used and we are using the third person as we are talking about a China said, which takes the subject it, so then we use the auxiliary verb has. In this example, he has been reading for 2 hours. We can see that the present perfect continuous tense is being used, and again in this example, we can see has is being used. Has been is being used in this example because we're talking about the third person, he. It would be incorrect to say he have been. The rule is if we have the third person, those being he, she, it, then we use has. In this example sentence, she has been running for half an hour without stopping. Again, we can see the present perfect continuous tense being used. And the auxiliary verb here, have, is used in the third person because here the subject is she. Like the previous two examples, it would be incorrect to use have in the third person, but we would use has instead. So remember, if you're talking about the third person, we always use has. The third person being he, she, or it. Okay, but what about had? Let's have a look at this example. I had a dress like that, but I don't know where it is now. Here we can see the verb have being used in the simple past. The simple past of the verb have is had. If you are expressing an action in the past using the simple past, then you have to be using had. but we can also use had as an auxiliary verb. Let's have a look at this example together. He had studied English before he moved to New York. Here we can see had being used as an auxiliary verb to form the past perfect. Remember friends, the past perfect tense is used to express an action that happened before another past action. So simply put, the past before the past. If you're using the past perfect simple tense, you will have to use the auxiliary verb had to form this tense. Also remember, with the past perfect simple tense, he, she, it does not use has. It uses had. We use auxiliary verb had for all subjects in the past perfect simple tense. The final sentence, he had been waiting there for 2 hours before she had arrived. Here had is being used to form the past perfect continuous tense. Here we can see the past perfect continuous tense being used because an action that started in the past and continued in the past was happening for some time in the past before another action. Friends, you may have noticed that we focused on a few grammatical structures in this lesson. Keep in mind that we use the auxiliary verb have to form the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous tense, and the auxiliary verb had to form the past perfect simple tense and the past perfect continuous tense. If you like this video lesson, make sure to like it, hit subscribe, and share this video with a friend learning English. Thanks for being here, and look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.